FlossTube! Welcome back to my channel. My name is Robin and this is my channel, Lady Robins. I am sitting in front of the windows like I always do in my craft room, and the second I started the camera, apparently the sun came out from behind the clouds, so it is super bright in here. So hopefully it won't completely blow out the colors on everything, but we'll make it through together, won't we? If you are brand new here, welcome to my channel. This is a channel where I talk about cross stitch, so I hope that that is something that is of interest to you. Go ahead and like, subscribe, comment. Let's have a little interaction with each other. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for coming back. I am happy that you're all here and we're gonna have a good morning. I will apologize, I'm a day late. I'm filming this on Wednesday. It is the 28th of April. Life just got busy yesterday. I just could not fit it in, and by the time I could fit it in, it was 9 p.m. I was too sleepy to handle this. So we're just gonna do it first thing today. I'm gonna get it uploaded and out there for your viewing pleasure. So thank you for being here with me. Don't forget, I'm also on Instagram, so you can find me in 2 places if you are interested. All right, let's get going, shall we? I have whips to show you. I do not have any finishes today, but I've got some plans on what I want to do for May, so I want to go over that with you and talk about whip go. So those are the things we're going to get up to today. All right, so grab a beverage. I've got mine, of course. I've got it in one of the Starbucks You Are Here mugs, which I adore. And as you can see, I've already had some coffee. There's my lipstick stain. This is our Sydney mug. And 100 years ago when I worked for Northwest Airlines, which no longer exists, I went on a very fabulous week-long trip with my girlfriend Kay and her mom. And we went all over Australia, and when I see this mug, it reminds me of that fun trip. And one of the coolest things we did was we flew into Sydney, and then we bounced across Australia. We went to the other side, and we ended up in Perth. And there is a beach in Perth where the wild dolphins will come into shore. And so I got to pet a wild dolphin, and my dolphin's name was Kenny. And I'll never forget that. I petted Kenny the dolphin over in Perth, Australia. So this mug brings me fond memories of my time in the airline industry. So there you have it, a little bit about me and I really do. I love Australia. I only went once and it is on my bucket list. I really want to go back. And one of the places I loved, of course I loved Perth because I got to pet the dolphin, but I also really like the island of Tasmania. It's beautiful there. I would love to go back and revisit those places. Who knows, someday, right? That's why it's called a bucket list. Alrighty, so let's get after it, shall we? Isn't that what they say on one of the news programs? I can't even remember. All right, I worked on 4 whips this week, and I want to show you what I got up to. So in no particular order, the first thing I'm going to show you is I did get started working on my May Snowflower diary piece. This is a monthly piece. You can stitch them all together. I've seen that a number of times on Instagram, or you can stitch them individually. I've decided to stitch them individually and put them up on a little display in my front hallway. Now, this is where I've gotten to on May. And since today is the 28th of April, this might get finished and put up in the middle of May, but that's okay. That's all right. I'm not mad. But it is the cutest thing. It's a little cat. I'm getting some sun peeking through my blinds, but I have started May, and in the chart the flowers have a red for the flowers, ruby slippers. I don't have ruby slippers, so I haven't quite decided what I'm going to use in replace of ruby slippers, but I'm sure I'll find something. Some kind of, you know, darker red will be just fine. And I might even look at previous months that I've stitched to see if I did use a red substitution in some of the previous months, and then if I did, I'll pull that in. But I keep thinking that I picked one. Maybe I did. Maybe I did. I think, yeah, that one. That is DMC 3687. That's what I picked. I did pick something. Sorry. Yeah, I think that'll look really nice. I'm, you know, slowly puttering away on it. All right, so that was the first whip that I stitched on. It doesn't look like a lot of stitching, but somehow that was 2 days of stitching on that one. I must have been sleepy because, like I said, it doesn't look like much progress, but oh well, at least I was stitching and I was happy, right? The second thing that I stitched on this week, and I have not looked at this guy in quite a while, is I stitched on Harbor Haven. And I only did 1 day on Harbor Haven, but I made some pretty good progress. So here is the chart, and I've got such a glare in here today. I don't know. Well, that's not too bad. So this is the second scene. There's 12 of them. So I got up to stitching on that. So let me unfold this. I'm stitching this on a 32 count weeks. Is it a weeks? I've got it written down here. Yeah, it's weeks. Weeks linen, and it's in the colorway Seafoam, and yeah, 32 count, and I'm stitching it 2 over 2. So here is where I got to on Harbor Haven. So this, if you just cut the tree in half, that's all scene 1, so that's completed. So I'm starting on scene 2, and what I got finished on the day that I stitched on that, I think I had 2 days stitched on that, is I finished 3 or 4 of those leaves, and then I finished the flowers, and I got that cloud put in, and then this is the top of a tree. Is that a little tree? Yeah, top of a little tree, so I just got started on that little tree. So there's Harbor Haven. Love it. Love those colors. I'm using all of the called for DMC floss except the water. I didn't think the water was bright enough, so on those I subbed, and I think I've got it written down here. I think I wrote it on my chart. Yeah, for the light, for the 2 contrasting colors, I used Bejeweled and Turquoise. And I think Turquoise is Weeks, and I think Bejeweled is Gentle Arts, I think. Or it's the other way around. But anyway, those are my substitutions for the water. And I really like how those look. That really pumped it up for me. I like bright colors. We've talked about that before. So that is the second thing that I stitched on this week. Got some time in on Harbor Haven, which is fun. Okay, so after that, I was watching some FlossTube, and somebody was showing their Sense and Sensibility finish, and then like the day after that, I got an email from Kristen at the Stitching Book Club, who did the Sense and Sensibility, and doing all the literary themed pieces in her club. And it occurred to me, I haven't stitched on my Sense and Sensibility in a long time, and the next one is going to be here next month. It's going to be out before we know it. And so I really need to finish. So I buckled down and started back up on my Sense and Sensibility. And I'm trying to pull the threads off it that are dangling everywhere. But this is where I've gotten to on my Sense and Sensibility piece. So I got the 3 orange, I think of them as tulips. I got the 3 orange tulips finished up there. And then I'm working on the leaves on either side. There's a motif on the bottom. I started working on that. And then there's a couple more flower, I don't know, sprigs, I guess? Sprags? Is that how you say that? That need to get put in. Excuse me. Then I'll have a finish. That's still quite a bit of stitching. I am way behind on Sense and Sensibility, but I don't want to start the next one until this one is done. So I really need to get a finish on that one. So I'm going to be pushing for a finish on this piece in the next couple of weeks because it just cannot dangle there forever. So that is the 3rd thing that I stitched on this week. And then the 4th thing I stitched on was my second Whip Go piece, which is from Bent Creek and Heart and Hand. It is their friend stitch piece, and so I am working on this one. It's their, I think they call it the Gift of Peace alphabet. Yep, Gift of Peace alphabet. So I'll show you where I got to on that guy. And I got the trees done. I got the trees done, you guys. Finally. I've been horsing around with those trees forever. So this one, I was way down here, so I finally finished all that. And then I got this 3rd tree done. And then you can see my basting line, so I can get my stitches lined up properly to do that border. So I am really happy with how this is coming. And then when that's done, I just have to, I just have to polish off those cardinals and get the snow added around. So I am confident that I will have this guy done in time for Christmas and up on the wall. So that was my 4th whip for the week. So I got really good stitching done. Now, of course, it helps if you've decided that you can't sleep in the middle of the night, because the Sense and Sensibility Sal, most of that stitching was done between the hours of 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. a couple of nights ago. Oh my goodness, you guys, we are just struggling here with my parents. You know, I don't want to, bore you, but after I filmed my FlossTube last week and I said, oh, the parents are good, everything's great, lo and behold, I find out my dad had fallen twice the day before. And then the day after I filmed my FlossTube, he fell down 2 times the next day. So the parents are struggling, and we took my dad into the doctor, and he's been diagnosed with vertigo, which I totally get because I have vertigo also. It completely sucks. And he is so off balance, it's terrible. We are forcing him to use a walker, which he is not happy about. And when I took him to the doctor yesterday, I made the doctor tell him, you cannot drive if you have vertigo, because my dad thinks he can drive. So that is a little bit of a challenge, because now, if you need orange juice, who are you going to call, right? Me. If you're out of ice cream, who are you going to call? That'd be me. If you can't figure out how to turn on the something, who are you going to call? That'd be me. So anyway, it's lit my brain up, because the second I lay down to go to sleep, then we call them the 3 a.m. thoughts show up, and that's what's going on. So I'm getting extra stitching done because if you can't stitch, if you can't sleep, you might as well stitch. So I hope none of you are stitching at 3 a.m. like I am, because it sure makes for a long day. Oh my goodness. Okay, so those are my whips. That's what I got up to in terms of stitching. I have got some thoughts about what I want to do for my May stitching. Are you ready for some plans? All right, let's do it. So today, what I'm going to stitch on is, I think I'm going to break out Cardinal Points, because I started this on Leap Day, and Leap Day last year, and I have been very bad about breaking out Cardinal Points and stitching on it on its birthday. So I think I am going to give my Cardinal Points 2 days of love this week, and so here is where I'm at. So I am stitching this on, I think this is a 27, is this what it is? I wrote it down. 32 count white Lugana. 32 count white Lugana, and I'm using all the called for gentle arts, and I'm stitching it 2 over 2. So 32 count white Lugana, 2 over 2. So that's what I'm going to get up to the next 2 days. I want to give Cardinal Points 2 days of love because I know I missed its birthday last month. So I want to make up for that. And of course, I also need to put some time in on my May Snowflower diary piece. And I've decided that if I wake up in the middle of the night and I cannot go back to sleep, I'm going to work on May Snowflower diary. You know what? You might as well plan for it right now. Okay, so that's my stitching for the next couple of days. May Snowflower diary and Cardinal Points. And you know, even if I don't wake up in the middle of the night, that just might be my, gosh, I got a frog. Excuse me. That just might be my you know, little bit of stitching before I head to work in the morning. So that's kind of my plans for this week, for the kind of for this week. And then moving into April, no, this is April, moving into May, the new WIPGO numbers have been pulled. So let me show you what my WIPGO numbers are, or my pieces are for the WIPGO. So WIPGO is like cross stitch bingo. So you work on your WIPs, WIP, works in progress. So one of the numbers that was pulled turns out to be Cranberry Christmas. And I started working on Cranberry Christmas, and I have the meagerest of a start, and I don't like my fabric. So I am going to restart Cranberry Christmas. I am looking forward to that, and it's stitched in the sulkies. So Cranberry Christmas is getting restarted. So that is my first WIPGO piece. And it just occurred to me, I forgot to pull the second one. So give me half a moment. I know exactly where it is. Okay, so my second WIPGO was, the other number was 22. And that for me is Huckleberry Farm. Can you see that? I love this piece. I love my fabric. It is a 36 count hand-dyed fabric by Bestitch Me by Brandy, and that is where I'm at. So I'm going to get 5 days in this month on Huckleberry Farm. I am looking forward to making good progress on this guy. This one is one that came out at market last year, the cross-stitch needlework market, right before we all shut down for COVID, and it was pretty much the first chart I ordered. And I have made really lousy progress on this one. So it is time to sit down and get some work done on Huckleberry Farm, and I'm all in. Yep, I'm all in. Huckleberry Farm, Cranberry Christmas. Those are going to be good things to stitch on, because the other thing that that I'm thinking about in terms of plans is I am going to go down to Acorns and Threads on May 11th. And it would be great if I had a few things to take down to the finisher, because I finished one Christmas ornament, and so it would be awesome if I had a couple more to bring down to have her finish for me for my Christmas tree this year. So I need to get my behind in gear and get, you know, even if I could get one more piece, if I could bring two down to her, that would be better than nothing, right? So I'm thinking about Christmas ornaments. The other thing that I am thinking about is April showers bring May flowers, right? So I am gonna stitch on things in May that have flowers. I'm not really doing Mania, and I didn't really do Mania last year. I gave myself a new start on each Saturday in May. So I finished all of the things I started in Mania except one. So this is going to be my one outlier in May. I started this. It's by the Scarlet House. It's called the Coverlet Houses. So there's some flowers in here. So I want to stitch on this. I want to bring this guy back out, and I'll show you where I got to. And I'm trying diagonal stitching, and it's fun. So I need to make better progress on this guy. So I am going to work on the Coverlet Houses in May. I'm going to work on my Gnomes in the Garden in May. And I'll just grab it. You guys, I did not work on this week, obviously. But there's my Gnomes. There's the chart, which I just adore. And it's in my Tara, the 905 Stitchers bag. She has a shop on Etsy. And this is where I'm at on the cutie Gnomes. So I'm going to work on Gnomes in May. And then the other thing I'm going to do is I need to make a few smalls to go on my dining room table. And so I went through my files and I found some smalls that are freebie charts, and I am going to make some smalls to put in my my dough bowl that sits on my dining room table. Now, this is what I stitched last year. It's called Spring, and it's from Wendy at From the Heart Needle Art by Wendy. And I think you can find this chart on her website. So what I want to do is this, I wrote down all the colors I used, and this was kind of the colors I used. Well, not kind of, these are the colors that I used on that chart. And so I found a number of kind of spring flowery themed freebies. And so here's one by Lizzie Kate. In fact, here's the second one by Lizzie Kate, Friendship Grows. The other one is Hello Spring. And I am going to stitch those up, and I'm going to try to bring in these colors so they all kind of go together. And then, if I have time, I also want to stitch this guy, You Are Special. I just think this is adorable. You know, same thing, try to bring in some of those colors if I can. Here's another one by Fox and Rabbit Design. I just think this is adorable. So same thing, springy, spring flowers. I think those would all look super cute together. And then I have a couple of freebies that have bees that are kind of bee themed. So I might do the bees, but I'm going to start with the flowers and we'll see how far I get. So I have big stitching plans for myself for May. I just think flowers for May is a good idea. So that is my plans for what I want to stitch on in May. I have very little haul to show you, you guys. I got my fabric of the month from Brandy at Stitch Me. I am now getting a 36 count linen, and this is it. It is a beautiful, beautiful mottled, darker brown, and she calls it Bronze Age, and this is really pretty. So that's my haul for the week. I feel good about that because there's been some weeks the haul has been ridiculous. So I'm glad to not be overspending. And if I'm doing freebie charts, I'm not overspending, right? I'm using what I already have. So I am happy. Oh, and this is my Terra Gnome bag. I love this bag. Okay, so those are my plans. That's my haul. And then I thought I'd leave you with book recommendations. So I told you last week that I am into graphic novels right now. I'm still into graphic novels. I picked up March. There's 3 in this series, and this is about Senator John Lewis and his journey from being a young man and becoming a social justice activist. These are amazing. So I've read the first one, I'm halfway through the second one, and I've got the third one. And then the other graphic novel that I read is El Defo. And this is what I was doing last night at 1 a.m. when I couldn't sleep. I didn't stitch, I actually read, but I read this one cover to cover. And this is a charming book about a young girl who has to wear hearing aids and her struggles, and kind of the realizations she comes to along the way. So if you need some graphic novels, if you need a quick read, I recommend El Defo and March by John Lewis. These are fantastic. These are great. They won't take you a ton of time to read. That's another good one because my attention span is pretty limited. I need something I can sit down, enjoy, get in, get out, right? All right, you guys, that's all I've got for you today. I hope that you are having a fantastic week, that things are going well in your world, that you're stitching happy, and I will see you next week. Okay, bye, my friends.